All right. Everything is connected except for my microphone. Greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. How y'all doing? Good to see you. Of course, if you're on Colin, you can hear me because Colin, I'm not using the microphone for Colin. But how you doing? It also sounds really loud. Okay. All right. Everybody's here. Good to see you. Tim Bob says, Canadian friends, good luck on your food price unfreezes. Unfreeze. They're unfreezing food prices? What does that mean? Does that mean that they're going to pay the prices we're paying in the U.S.? Because food is. I saw a good post the other day. Somebody saying, maybe it was Kim Iverson. Somebody, they were like, if you haven't noticed that food prices have gone up like 200% or 100%, doubled at least. While the economists and the mainstream media is telling you like, oh, the economy is going great. If you want to know why people don't believe you anymore or don't want to listen to you anymore or want to turn off anything that anybody on the mainstream media or in power has to say, well, maybe that's one of the reasons. I don't know. I need a sweater. Actually, it feels pretty good. The sun is out. I have a long sleeve shirt over a shirt, so I'm wearing layers. The sun is out, and it actually feels kind of good. It's a little chilly, but it feels kind of good. All right. Good to see you all. YouTubers, Rockfinners. There is probably a moment when we will leave. When we will leave the YouTube and go to Rockfin. I don't know when that moment's going to be. Bunch of things I want to get out of the way in the beginning of the show. Got a donation on PayPal from Niels Vanderwolk. Thank you, Vandervolk. I appreciate it. Thank you for the donation. He said he's watching on Rockfin. Cool. I think Rockfin is a place where a lot of people should. The Rockford Files live. I think Rockfin is a place where people should be watching the show. Get accustomed to Rockfin. Get used to watching on Rockfin, because who knows what the world of YouTube will give us in the future. Yeah, it's actually kind of nice. And I did. I've been working on my fitness, and got out and ran today and did some yoga, and I feel good and like warmed up. I feel good. All right. Anyways, so much going on, but one of the biggest things going on. Oh, another point of business I wanted to say. People were bringing up the idea of a Black Bear News Discord channel. Listen, well, for one, there already is a Black Bear News Discord channel. Actually, I think there's two. I don't like Discord, so we're not going to do that. I'm just going to tell you right now, for the people that are suggesting Discord, we're not going to do Discord. I just don't like Discord. It's too, there's too much going on there. It's just too, I like Telegram. Telegram is simple and easy to me. It's like, Telegram is like, if anybody doesn't know what, Discord is literally Discord. That's what it looks like to me. I just can't take it. Telegram is simple. Telegram is like a Twitter account, but you're not getting stuff from everywhere. It's like it's like a private Twitter room, basically. It's the best way I could describe it. So if you are in a Telegram account, you can, on Telegram, you can follow all kinds of people, but you don't get all the news like Twitter. You don't get it all in one big stream and algorithmically, dissected and diluted and delivered to you in a certain way. So you have these channels you follow, you go into the channel, and the channel is very specific. Everything there is specific. The people that are in the channel or the people that are talking, the people that are posting links in the channel, people that are in the channel. So it's very, it's very concentrated, simple format. So we're going to do Telegram. That's what we're going to do. And there's already Black Bear News Telegram channel too. I tried to start the channel, I don't know, last year or 2 years ago. And there was a little bit of so I had a problem setting up the channel, and I think there was confusion about which channel to follow. Now, listen, I haven't been in the Telegram channel, the Black Bear News Telegram channel, and since I did that, tried to set it up. So before we do the Telegram channel, let me go in there. Let me make sure that everything is simple and concise, and that we have one link for everybody to follow in the Telegram channel. So that's what we're going to do. So probably this weekend or Monday, I'll have the link for the Telegram channel for everybody to join, and everybody can get in the channel, share links, and talk to each other on the Telegram channel. And there will be one dedicated channel. It was confusing because I think there ended up being two, and people were like, I don't know where to go. There'll be one dedicated Telegram channel for Black Bear News on Telegram, and everybody can go there. Okay, does that sound good? Also, more housekeeping, I guess. And this actually kind of ties into what's going on with the weather, and yeah, I know people were confused by it, and so I just kind of, and I also at the time had too much going on in my brain, and I just couldn't keep up with it. So I will be the moderator, and I'll be there moderating the Telegram channel, and it'll be kind of an easy, concise place for us to be when we're not here. Speaking of other places to be, I have been threatening to start another YouTube channel. I'm actually threatening to start several, but one of the channels I want to start, and I am going to start, is kind of going to be like a story channel, but like also history, some history, and then some relevant, like maybe readings from books and whatnot, things that are relevant to what's happening now, but kind of tied into. So we're talking about this huge atmospheric river that is coming towards. Does Telegram work in a browser? No, actually what you do is you install it on your computer, and it comes up in a separate little browser. So it's like a link that'll take you to the app. It's actually like an app on your computer. It's actually kind of cool. I kind of like it. But here, yeah, kind of like a Black Bear book club in a way, but it won't be called Black Bear. It'll be called something else. Anyways, I'm going to start this channel and do some readings and whatnot. And what I wanted to do maybe this weekend, and if I can, maybe today or maybe this weekend, depends on when I get it together. Please follow me on Twitter. So I will drop links on Twitter when this happens. But I'm going to do probably a reading from Ministry of the Future, and probably something about the 1862 flood in California. That was a major event, and that's they're threatening. They're saying, the meteorologists are saying this could be a rerun of the 1862 great flood of California event. So it's kind of crazy though. The meteorologists are really sounding the alarm. I mean, they are glanging the alarm like as loud as possible. They're saying this could be a serious. I mean, they're meteorologists saying get prepped, like get some food, get some water, get ready to leave if you have to. Have a place to go, be ready to go to high ground, et cetera, et cetera. They're really being very clear that this could be a dangerous, like a flood, dangerous flooding event. And some places are going to get up to 12 inches of rain in a few days. They're saying it could be 1 trillion gallons of water. The greater LA area is going to get, maybe between 7 and 10 inches of rain. So, and a lot of people were downplaying, the hurricane. This is not a hurricane. This is an atmospheric river, or a Pineapple Express, or whatever you want to say, whatever you want to call it. When the hurricane happened, Hurricane Hillary, everybody was like, ha, 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 what a joke. For one thing, hurricanes don't hit Los Angeles like ever. So just the fact that they were even calling it a hurricane was hitting California. That's got that's alarming enough. But it did hit California. It also hit Arizona. I was in Arizona at the time of that, and man, it was a massive amount of rain. I mean, just a serious amount of rain that came down where I was. For about 12 hours, it rained like crazy. And I was, there was a point in the middle of the night when it was just raining and raining and raining the tent I was sleeping in actually did flood out. It actually became a bit of a lake inside my tent. I was kind of like on a air mattress. I was on my raft inside of a lake in my tent. That's how much it rained when I was camping during that hurricane. So, I mean, it was, and some places did get flooded out. The damage wasn't what they chalked it up to be, but that's what happens. I mean, you have storms coming in. Sometimes the storms hit, sometimes they don't. I mean, that's, it's funny for people. I feel like it's a little funny for people to go, it's always too much. Sometimes it's not too much. Sometimes it actually wipes your town out. I'm so excited about it. I'm just like spitting at my computer. So, I mean, you got to heed the warnings, and be thankful that it doesn't turn into something really crazy, right? I mean, that's kind of the point of the warnings, is like, be prepared to move or leave or do something, but, hopefully it doesn't turn into the thing that we think it's going to turn into. So, there is a lot of warnings going on. Colin McCarthy, if you live in Southern California, especially from Los Angeles to Santa Barbara, they're saying Santa Barbara and Ventura are going to get like the very worst of it. They're really, Oxnard, Ventura, Santa Barbara, they're really telling those people to like prepare to leave or whatever. You need to prepare now for potentially damaging and life-threatening flooding Sunday through Monday. 3 to 7 inches of rain is forecast for coasts and valleys, with up to 6 to 15 inches possible in the mountains. However, some of the models show up to 6 to 12 inches could fall along the coast, with isolated amounts of 20 plus inches in the mountains. Even if the higher end model projections don't pan out, it is best to start preparing now, because current forecast amounts would still lead to significant, potentially deadly flooding. The National Weather Service in Los Angeles said the storm could end up generating unprecedented amounts of rain across a widespread area. So, if you are in the area, I am right dead center in this area. I'm kind of ground zero right here. So if you were here, if you were in LA or along the, anywhere in Southern California or along the coast or anywhere in this path of this storm, please, be advised. 20 inches. I know, it's wild, but hey, so in this other channel, I'm going to do a reading of a chapter in the Ministry of the Future where it just describes exactly this scenario, which when I saw this happening, I was like, oh shoot, it's like that story. And it's short. It's not long. Anyways, I want to read this chapter. I'm going to read it on the other channel. And so I'll let you guys know when that happens. If you guys want to come over and listen to me read this chapter from Ministry of the Future, and maybe do a little historical reading of the 1862 flood, right? But it's a, as I was reading it, I was like, that'll never happen. That's crazy. What? Los Angeles? No. And then they start like generating this, and I was like, dang. Yeah, Sunday, Monday. Sunday is the Grammys, by the way. Everybody, I have a lot of musician friends, doing this, coming in for the Grammys, right? Sliding in, or they're already here. Actually, quite a few already have been here, already here. There's the whole week is like Grammy week. Everybody's like doing this. And I'm like, oh, geez, what's Sunday going to look like when the actual thing happens? Anyways. Paul Beckwith. Oh, there's a new study out. Unprecedented ocean heating shows risks of world 3C warmer. And golly gee, I think like atmospheric rivers and rogue category 5 hurricanes, Acapulco. I think that actually goes along with the risks of a world that is much, much warmer. People are going to show up to the Grammys in wetsuits. And flippers, snorkels. From Doomer Girl News, we found that trees in warmer, drier climates are essentially coughing instead of breathing. They are sending CO2 right back into the atmosphere, far more than trees in cooler and wetter conditions. So the idea that trees or forests or climate sinks, they're doing what the oceans are doing. They're now belching the CO2 back. They cannot take in any more CO2. Trees struggle to breathe as climate warms. Scott Andrews says 3C warmer. I'm sure food will be plentiful. Let's see. Denver on Rockfin throwing up some links. Thanks for the links. Yo. Dutch farmer offers warning to the EU Parliament yesterday, which also approved $54 billion more for the Ukrainian catastrophe. Wow. The EU Parliament, they're doing just about as good as the Biden administration, right? How about some more money for war? Wait a minute, hold on. Hey, we are having issues here. We're having real issues here. And you guys want to talk about you guys want to get all up in the war business. We're not in the war business. We're in the trying to stay alive business. Brave Dutch farmer, as he warns the political establishment, we are done talking. We're done with these fake problems created by you politicians. You are trying to destroy farmers all over Europe, but just like the farmers in Brussels today, we will fight back. I don't care whether you like the farmers or not, or whether you think their position is solid or not. I appreciate the motivation to get together and do something. Right? I support pretty much all protests against the establishment everywhere. There's usually some legitimacy to the protests, right? Whether you're on the right or the left, or whether I see a lot of climate aware people being mad at the farmers for protesting and saying they don't care about the environment. Right. They just want to farm and make money. And it's just, and I understand all that. I get that argument from that side of the subject, but, I think they have legitimate grievances, and, their grievances are mostly about the people in power. Not really. I'd say the biggest issue is they're just not communicating the problem correctly, and we know this, right? And what people feel like they're doing is, and this is it is what they're doing, is taking out small farmers, small businesses, putting people in some kind of austerity kind of trap, right? For what reason? Are they really going to stop agriculture altogether? Are they really going to curtail No, they're going to give it over to big conglomerates, and they're going to be doing the agriculture. And they're going to take it out of the hands of the small farmer, and they're not going to do anything about climate change. So I think even if the science behind what they're doing is correct, I feel like the way they're doing it is all the way wrong, completely and utterly wrong. And plus, they're just not communicating. If it really is about climate change, we're not given the correct communication around. The wrong people are doing the communicating. We're not getting the correct information around what is really going on with climate change. And they're not planning on stopping like shipping, aviation, heavy industry, mining, selling you electric vehicles. They're not going to do anything about all this other stuff that's going on that's destroying the planet. They're going to go out the farmers and say like, well, it's the nitrogen and all, and it is the nitrogen, it is these things, but you're hitting the wrong people first, right? You're hitting the wrong area first. You got to go, you're not going to stop oil production or oil drilling or mining or any of the, all this other stuff that is really truly the culprit of climate change, right? It's, I feel like farming and agriculture is like the end of the line, for, in that whole procession of industrial civilization, right? And you're talking about people getting food, or growing food, making food, getting food, growing food, delivering food. You don't want to. That's not the place to mess with first, right? But that's not what they. At the end of the day, they're not going to mess with things that are going to affect their bottom line, the people in charge, right? They're not going to mess with things that affect their ability to stay in power or stay in control, right? On top of that, the absolute insanity of trying to get farmers to, of coming down on farming and agriculture and sending frickin' $54 billion to Ukraine to fight a war. I mean, get out of here with that. Just stop it. Stop it already, right? You don't mind blowing up a bunch of people to sell more weapons. You don't mind destroying the climate for warfare. You don't care about that. You have no cares or concerns whatsoever about that. But you want to take it to the farmers? Yeah, get out of here with that. So good on the farmers. Go farmers. If you're against the farmers because you care about the climate, I get it, but I think you're on the wrong side of the issue. Because why don't you take it to the military industrial complex? Why don't you take it to the people that are trying to, I see a lot of climate, or used to, not so much now. I saw a lot of climate people with Ukraine flags in their bio. I mean, you don't even know what's going on, to even speak on the subject. Like, why don't you take it to the military industrial complex? Why don't you take it to the private, jet class out there that are getting together and having these big meetings in Davos or wherever else to talk about climate change? Why don't you discuss it with those folks first, instead of getting mad at the farmers, who I think have legitimate gripes. No sound on Colin? Is that true? Guys, can you hear me on Colin or no? Timothy says no sound. Guys, Colin, can you hear me? If you can hear me, give me a like. Hit the like button or something. Give me a sign that you can hear me. If you can't hear me, if I don't see any likes, I guess there's no sound. Steph C says, guys, can you hear me on Colin or no? Should we restart the Colin? Here, let's do it. We'll close the app out and we'll restart it. I didn't get any likes, so I guess they're not hearing me. Okay, Timothy says no sound. Oh, I guess it was frozen. I'm sorry. To the Colin people, I apologize. And now it's on mute. Okay, now we got sound. We should be back on Colin. Sorry about that. And William, if you're on another platform, I guess we're back on Colin. Okay, well, it should be fixed now, right? Give me a like if you can hear me on Colin, please. Hello. If you can hear me on Colin, hit the like button. You know how to do that. I can see that floating up. Hello. I don't want to get bogged down in this playing with the sound. Hello. Colin people, if you can hear me, please hit the like button. No? Why do I have no sound on Colin? It's okay now? Are you sure? Timothy, you're on Colin. Can you hear me? Just say like yes or something. Hello? Yes? Say how to do. Beatnik? Anybody? Okay. I can't tell. All right. Somebody said it's okay. I don't know where I was at. I got lost. I got lost. Anyways, I'm down. I got lost. I was talking about farmers. I'm down with the farmers, is all I have to say. Why? Because they're against the establishment. And that's all the reason you need. You may not like the reason they're against the establishment, but they're just against the establishment. That's all the reason you need. And they're against for several reasons. It's not just about the policies. They're probably mad about $54 billion to Ukraine and then they're trying to. Osama, can you hear me on Colin? Can you hear me, sir? Can you give me a like? No? Oh, that's annoying. We're also live on Twitter, by the way, too. I don't know if who's watching on Twitter. Somebody's watching on Twitter, I'm sure. It says 0 viewers, but I don't believe you. Because right after I end the video, that says there's a bunch of views on it. So Twitter also does their weird suppression thing too. I'm not really sure. They probably would show me the views if I was a paid Twitter guy, right? If I was a verified user, they'd probably show me all the people that were watching on Twitter. And guess what? I'm not paying. So, not paying. Okay. What else is going on? Dr. Drew says he had a personal awakening. He's open to everything now. And he credits RFK Jr. for it. We're going to play this video. Always blame the guitar. The guitar player is always too freaking loud. You know what I'm saying? That's why this one always goes to 11. I just need one more. Well, it's one more, ain't it? Yeah. Yes. Genocide RFK. Yes. Genocide RFK. Yes. And it's really not great. I pretty much have lost my appetite for RFK Jr. after all that. But he's correct. And some of the other things he's been talking about, he's correct. Get out of here. Spinal Tap 2 is not in production. No, do not.
Came open. I've realized
how much did your political evolution shift because of the COVID craziness? Because when I had you on last time in studio, it was still in LA, so it's about over 2.5 years ago. You were still sort of saying some nice things about Fauci, and I know you guys have a history. I sense you've shifted a bit on that, or at least you're amenable to some other ideas.
I am open to everything now. I'm open to things that I never thought I would have been open to. And I really think that the door fully came open. I've realized that everything in the news is BS. Everything. There is nothing that I can consume on any legacy media that I can trust. And that is shocking, and that's disturbing. And it makes you wonder how long it's been going on for. And I'm concerned it might have been a very long time.
Yeah. Was there a straw that broke the camel's back on that specifically?
Yes. I was going to tell you that my interview with my first interview with RFK Jr., he was so reasonable and so smart and so many interesting ideas and enlightened me to this cozy relationship between the regulators and the pharma companies, which I really wasn't aware of. I mean, I can't let a pharma company representative into my office to give me a pen with a drug name on it, and yet those guys are living together and cross-pollinating jobs. I mean, that's mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
So, and that he had a very sensible, didn't necessarily fully agree with it, but a sensible idea about vaccine research that he would like to push forward. Not that vaccines are bad. His family's all vaccinated. My family's all vaccinated. And at the end of that interview, he said something to me. I've met him now many times since then. He goes, "Oh my good, Drew, you are so courageous to talk to me." And I thought it blew me back in my chair. I thought, I need courage to have a conversation with an adult in a public setting. And he was right. This is a time where I didn't realize how much speech was being suppressed, how much was being manipulated, how much. Then what happened after that was the.
Okay, I'm going to stop playing it there. But for fear of too much being said, and a lot of people feel like the black pill thing is now a psyop by Elon Musk and all these people. Even RFK might be in it. That the truth telling is just somehow hey, it gets more complicated as time goes on, right? It gets very complicated, this world of information, right? Yes, not being against genocide is a low bar. You're right. Being opposed to genocide seems like a low bar. Yes, Scott Andrews, yes. Right. So, yes, people, a lot of people out there are now like, oh, this whole like thing, but psyop or not, I mean, you have to kind of highlight the truth when it's being said, right? And then when the truth is not being said, you also have to pinpoint that too, right? So, I actually, welcome if the black pill is a psyop. I actually welcome the, at least the mouthing out loud of truths, right? Even on mainstream media, the fact that they're hey, we're going to talk about the truth now. It's free speech and all that kind of stuff, right? So, hey, look, I appreciate the truth being said and putting it out there, and then you got to be ready for the old, the 3-card Monty, the switcheroo, the watch me pull a rabbit on my hat, the nothing up my sleeve, all that stuff. You got to watch out for that, right? And be ready to go like, nope. And kind of like RFK Jr. was like, truth, and everybody's like, yeah, and he's all, but Israel is our what did he call it? Our aircraft carrier. And it was like, no, absolutely not. Did I post that video on X? The one I just played, I think I retweeted it. Did I retweet it? Oh, maybe I didn't retweet it. I think I liked it. Let's keep going. You don't see it? I liked it. Let's see. Real quick. I got to do this real quick because I got to get back into, because it's already so late. Where is it? Oh, maybe not. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I liked it. I did not retweet it. Okay, I'm retweeting it now. So it should be on my timeline. Yeah, for sure. It's good. It's a good, clip. I like the clip. Placebo magic. Yeah, magic juice and whatever else you want to call it. Okay. So Social Security. Jimmy Dore posting this. George Carlin said they're coming for your Social Security. Oh, yeah. Well, Mr. Joe Biden from way back has everything's got to be on the table. Medicare, Social Security. Yeah, he said that on national TV several times. And yet people were like, but we have to vote for Joe Biden. Yeah. Do you feel like a stooge yet? Anyways, this is a good clip too. I do. Dr. Drew is ridiculous. I think so. Let's come back. Well, let me go through these and we'll come back to this clip. This is a good one too. I wanted to go back to the trees article. I wanted to go to the 3C article. I don't know, some little time. So much news. Somebody was asking me about the Green Party. Well, remember, was it Peter Dow? Peter Dow was working for Cornell West. Poppy Davis says Joe's going to cut Social Security and Trump's going to cut Obamacare. Didn't he already cut Obamacare? I'm sure he will. I don't care about Obamacare as much as I care about Social Security, but it's Medicare that's the thing. Obamacare I could give two shits about because that doesn't really help anybody. But Medicare actually helps a lot of people in need, seniors right now. I mean, trying to expand it, but it helps people. And if you cut Medicare, then you're going to have a lot of seniors with no health care, and that's bad. Yes, Trump removed the tax penalty for not buying Obamacare, right? And I actually was like, that's good. That's a good thing. That is, yes, that's something you want to say yes to because you don't want to be penalized for not buying forced insurance that doesn't give you anything, right? It's like, I'm paying these premiums $400 a month and I can't even get any care. I mean, that's Obamacare sucks. It just sucks. It really sucks. It just is not good. Unless you have a lot of money or enough money, Obamacare is not really helpful for people. Anyways, Peter Dow is a Dem operative. And right, he's like a establishment undercover Dem psyop operative, right? So Peter Dow, and he was working for Cornell West, and he, like Cornell West, he fired Peter Dow or let go of Peter Dow, and then left the Green Party, and now Jill Stein is running for the Green Party, and guess who's working for Jill Stein? Peter Dow. Okay. Enough said. So people ask me about the Green Party. Well, Jill Stein won't go on Jimmy Dore anymore, and she's got Peter Dow working for him. And so, again, the Green Party now is Democrat Party light. Health insurance is not health care, right? Victory Jen. Exactly. So, yeah. So, compromise? Anybody want to say compromise? I can't even cover this one on YouTube, but man, and you know why? Because I read YouTube's new community guidelines, and they say you can't talk about cures for the big C, or you can't talk about things surrounding the big C on YouTube. So I was like, all right, I guess I'm not going to talk about it. Did you know that AOC is most likely CIA? I know this is old news for some people. I know a lot of people are really like, you already did with skin. You should know this, dude. Anyways, this is a good thread on AOC being CIA. AOC, CIA, AOCIA. And in this, did we talk about this yesterday? In a remarkable PBS documentary, the January 6th committee admits the entire thing was a publicity stunt, fabricated TV production meant to manipulate the audience in a PBS documentary. So they're telling you this was this is a fake thing, which is why they brought in the former president of ABC News. They, being the January 6th committee, brought in the former president of ABC News, James Goldston. It was Goldston who envisioned this as a mini-series. We knew how high the stakes were. We were either going to make people realize this was important, or once you've lost them for good. You need to keep them hooked on that TV show. Well, you failed and you lost most of the American public for good. Nice try, though. True. CIAOC, yeah. All right, so let's try and look at a couple of these things before it gets too late in the day. All right, where are we? Let's go back to Social Security, and then we'll go back to trees. Let's see. I'm going to try and not be too scattered about what I'm doing. So this is an organization that is fighting to keep Social Security for people. Social Security is a thing that people really like. They really like to get it in their old age. Yes, they do. And if you paid into it your whole life and then they tell you that you don't get it anymore, well, golly gee, you're going to be mad, aren't you? I can tell you right now, every single Trump voter, Biden voter, I don't care who you vote for, Green Party voter, you want Social Security. You love Social Security and you love your socialism, don't you? You love socialism. You don't want it taken away. You paid for it, you earned it, and you want that at the end of your life, right? So, please spare me the whole commie socialism talk, okay? Spare me all that because you love this. You also love police and firemen too. So spare me the whole agorist, libertarian, blobbity boop bop bop talk. Spare me. And read a book. Okay. Never trust anyone that would rather cut Social Security's earned benefits than make the wealthy pay their fair share.
Senator Romney recently tried to get an up or down vote in the dead of night on his so-called Trust Act, which would create an undemocratic, fast-tracked, closed-door process to cut Social Security. They know it is so toxic to talk about what they want, they tried to legally create a smoky back room where they can figure out the best way to rob people of their earned benefits.
Your organization, sir, continues to say that it is designed to cut benefits.
Your organization, sir.
Why do you say that?
If you're not going to cut benefits, then you're going to do it all on the revenue side, which would be something that we support. But going on the history of commissions in this town, what happens when politicians get behind closed doors is they talk about things that are deeply unpopular, like cutting Social Security.
We get behind closed. You're a group
not even
dedicated to
behind
saving
closed doors. They do it right out in public. Joe Biden did it in public for years. We gotta cut. Everything's got to be on the table. The American people aren't stupid. Yeah, yeah. You're okay. That was. If you want to see high level gaslighting, watch that Joe Biden clip of him saying, "We have to cut it. We have to cut it all. The American people aren't stupid." Wait a minute. And he's like speaking for the American people. The American people at that point are like, "What are you talking? What? We're not stupid. You mean?" Wait, are you saying we want to cut it too? Because we're not stupid? Wait, hold on. Help. Jesus.
Social Security, but you realize that if we don't come up with a bipartisan solution.
He keeps saying bipartisan too in this clip. Romney keeps saying the word bipartisan as if both parties aren't aligned all the time. There's bipartisan, as if there's like, well, we got to work out a deal. Because we're so far apart. You guys all vote for the same thing all the time, every day. More military spending, less money for people, and we don't give more money for us. And how about some stock trading? Like, you guys are totally aligned. Like, he keeps saying bipartisan. We have to come together on things we already agree on.
Will not save it. Do you understand that?
I recognize that the problem is the 23% benefit cut that you keep bringing up, but the solution that Republicans put forward is a 23% benefit cut. So that's not a solution. It's just the problem sooner.
Boy, that was not an answer. What solution do you have to actually solving Social Security on a bipartisan basis?
We would ask millionaires and billionaires to pay the
There
same
you
rate
go.
as the rest of Americans.
Yeah,
and
He's
not
like,
cut
wait.
for a penny of
I
benefits.
understand what your answer is. This is back to the think tank versus the do tank. What would you do to get bipartisanship? How are you going to get bipartisans to work together?
I would like the American.
He's like, how are you going to convince all the rich people in Congress that all agree to tax themselves more. How are you going to convince us to tax ourselves and all of our constituents more? You're never going to do it. That's what he's saying is like, so tell me how you're going to convince people to allow rich people that control all of us to allow themselves to be taxed, because that ain't going to happen. Yeah.
American people who bipartisanly, overwhelmingly don't want to see their benefits.
Yes. he just said the true truth. All people, bipartisanly, Democrats and Republicans, don't want to see their benefits cut. No, we love socialism. We love this socialism. We depend on this socialism. Socialism all day long. But your dumbass is on Twitter talking about commies. Biden, right wing, and left wingers and these commies and these socialism is bad and communism bad. And you guys don't even know what you're saying. You guys don't even know what you're talking about. But continue. Anyways, that's kind of why I like Jimmy Dore and other people like that. People on the lefty side who can understand that, these things were actually historically really good and people really, really supported this stuff. 90% tax rates for the wealthy and social services for the elderly and the poor. These are good things. You want these things. You want people to have medical care. You want these things. You want people to be taken care of. You want the rich to pay their fair share. You want the rich not to be so goddamn god-awful rich and share the wealth a little bit. There ain't nothing wrong with that. In fact, you want that. You want unions. You want strong unions. You want people to be able to make a living wage when they go to work and work 40 hours a week and come home and pay their rent. You want that. Everybody wants that. That's called socialism. Read a book. Jesus Christ. All right. Anyways, I've said enough. We'll get it off my chest. Just get it out. Get it out. Let it out. All right. Military cuts. There you go. Right. You want checks and balance. You want the Congress to check the president around war. Stuff like that. Police, roads, firemen, schools, socialism. Yes, G. Demers. Absolutely. Jeez. Dan Bronner says, how about cut the military by 90%, get rid of the CIA, NSA, DHS? Yes. Dan Bronner, dag nabbit, that is some brilliance right there. I'm going to show it on the screen. That's so brilliant. Yep. Hobby Davis, Social Security could be paid with some military money. Absolutely. It's not going broke. The wealthy are just taking more and giving you less. Nobody's going broke. These programs aren't going broke. Does anybody ever talk about the military going broke? Does anybody ever go, I don't know, in a couple of years the military might be broke? No, they never do that. Why? Because endless money for them. Shut up. Anyways. You guys are pretty smart. You guys are smarter than the average bear. Anyways, what's up? What's up, Rock Fenders? How you doing? Okay, so we're gonna do 3 more things. Jesus, I have to just do like a 2-hour show because I just don't have time to talk about anything in an hour. John Glad says it's all moot with 34 trillion in debt. Yeah, at this point. Oh, how about this from Max Wilbert? We're going to slip something else in here before we go on to other things. Max Wilbert. Look at this. Sustainability is illegal. My friend Julia Barnes created a pollinator garden of native wildflowers and plants. Native wildflowers and plants in Burlington, Canada. The city threatened them, then sent in workers to cut the plants to the ground. They were failing to comply with bylaws. Yeah. That's why they want you to register your backyard garden with the FDA, so you can be compliant with the. Send out some doofus from the city to come check your backyard garden. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right, we're gonna try and get to these other things real quick. Real quick. All right. Trees struggle to breathe as climate warms, researchers find. Trees are struggling to sequester heat-trapping carbon dioxide in warmer, drier climates, meaning that they may no longer serve as a solution for offsetting humanity's carbon footprint. Golly gee whiz, let's get those solar radiation management planes in the sky. According to a new study led by Penn State researchers, we found that trees in warmer, drier climates are essentially coughing instead of breathing, said Max Lloyd, associate research professor of geosciences at Penn State and lead author of the study recently published in Proceedings of National Academy of Sciences. They are sending CO2 right back into the atmosphere far more than trees in cooler, wetter conditions. Through the process of photosynthesis, trees remove CO2 from the atmosphere to produce new growth. Yet, under stressful conditions, trees release CO2 back to the atmosphere, a process called photorespiration. With an analysis of a global data set of tree tissue, the research team demonstrated that the rate of photorespiration is up to 2 times higher in warmer climates, especially when water is limited. Well, there you go. What's going on with the oceans, people? Do you know? Do you know? Another one from Phys.org. I need to get me a subscription to Phys.org. I don't think you need a subscription. Well, something. Unprecedented ocean heating shows risks of world 3C warmer. Record high ocean temperatures observed in 2023 could become the norm if the world moved into a climate that is 3C warmer than pre-industrial levels, according to a new study. 3C. We're almost halfway there. For March 2023, the North Atlantic began to show extremely warm temperatures, far exceeding anything seen in the past 40 years. As of August 2023, the North Atlantic was about 1.4 C warmer than the 1982-2011 average. And analysis, that's only 1982, by the way. Analysis of climate model projections showed that last year's extreme ocean conditions were similar to what scientists expect to be the average if global warming reaches 3C of warming. Currently, global temperatures have risen about 1.2. They're still holding on to the 1.2, aren't they? New research published this month in the Bulletin of American Meteorological Society examines the causes of the record-breaking ocean temperatures witnessed in 2023. Dr. Till Colbrook of the University of Reading led the study. He said the extraordinary heat in the North Atlantic and missing sea ice in Southern Ocean in 2023 tell us that the oceans are sounding an alarm. We urgently need to understand exactly why parts of the ocean are warming rapidly so we can prepare for more frequent weather disruption across the planet. How often we get hit by more of these extremes hangs on figuring out what's driving the Atlantic and Southern Oceans into uncharted territory. Well, golly gee. Considering the extremes have already started, I think we just need to understand that there's probably going to be more extremes. That's my super unscientific take on that. Yeah, 3C sounds like, if this is going on at 1.5, 3C sounds like hell, right? Am I right? Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Let's try and get a couple of things in here. Let's see. Okay, you know what? we're gonna take off from YouTube and go to Rockfin for a couple more minutes. Okay, does that sound good, guys? Is that all right with you? Real quick, before I go, if you like the show, if you are a fan of the show, if you enjoy getting the show for free every day, Monday through Friday, consider supporting the show with a donation. You can do so at buymeacoffee.com/blackbearnews, Cash App at Red Llama Music, Venmo at Kevin Sandbloom, paypal.me/Kevin Sandbloom, and you can sell me at kevinsandbloom at protonmail.com. All the links are below. By the way, please follow me on Twitter. This is my Twitter address, Black Bear News, the number 1. Please go follow me on Twitter for updates this weekend about the Telegram channel and or my other channel. I'm going to probably do some readings and or some other kind of things on another channel if I can get it off the ground this weekend. So that's where you can, for right now, Twitter is a good place to just kind of stay up to date on what's going on. All right, we're going to go over to Rockfin YouTube. Bonjour and peace out.